What is up, guys? This is Alinthea coming at you with a discussion video today on Team APS's channel. Now, cheers Paul for letting me come on here. He's also on my channel, so make sure to go check it out. But today I am coming at you with a discussion. Now, my channel is primarily based on discussions and also deck profiles, but mainly discussions. And the one I want to talk about today is change in Yu-Gi-Oh! And how it can only be a good thing. Over the years, in the most recent years, since the game's inception, there have been more and more different changes, tweaks to the rules of the game. Now, this can be card text and it also can be the way that mechanics are run. Some of the most recent ones are the erratas on certain banned cards like Sinister Serpent, Crush Card Virus, all those. And also by game mechanic where you can only draw 5 cards and you don't get the extra draw when you go first. All of these rulings, when they were first announced, were looked at and thought, don't like this looks horrible, this cannot work, because if, for example, we take the one where you can't draw when you go first, the person who's going second is always going to be in a better position than the person who's going first. That was the general consensus of the community when it was first announced. However, going on about a year maybe now since that was announced, that isn't the case. There are decks that prefer going second, and then there are decks that prefer going first. If you let your opponent go first, you aren't necessarily putting them in a disadvantaged spot. I feel that the community, and I am guilty of this as well, often doesn't give an idea a chance. If Konami implements something, we will be the first people to say, hold on, we don't like this isn't going to work, change is a bad thing, change is a bad thing. But the thing is, change isn't a bad thing. Konami don't think of these things on the fly and say, right, let's implement this tomorrow. These things are tested and these things are run through the R&D department and everyone else at that company. Change is a natural way to keep something alive. And if this game kept all of its original rulings, including priority to this day, it would be done. Priority was something that I was actually quite happy to see go. I have never been so more salty in my entire life when I were bottomless at BLS and they would end up just going priority banish, just like, what was the point in me even activating this bastard card? Priority was one thing that I feel was good. It was a good decision to be abolished for the TCG. And I feel that if, as I said, it was still in this game, our game would be a lot more unbalanced and crazy right now. Card text and erratas are something that is just the product of evolution for this game. And while back then it might have been this card is pretty good, now because of the higher amount of cards available to us in the card pool, simply means that that card is too strong now. Sinister Serpent is one of those that can arguably say it would be too good now if it kept its original effect, but now it's errated, it's completely unused. Two sides of that. One might say, well, what's the point in even bringing it back, because you're just destroying the cards, and then two, it means that, you know, you might as well just make another card, so on and so forth. Overall, change in this community is good. Any form of change, where be it there are sometimes some bad things, it is good. We take another one, for example, the field spell. When the duel was going on, some of you might remember, there could only be one field spell at a time. And while I never really thought about, well, it's unfair that only one person can control it, because it was just kind of the original rules that were put in place, and it was just kind of that. But suddenly, when Konami turned around and said each player can control it, that was crazy, because that's going against the original anime. Now looking back on it, it's much, much better. I actually really prefer it. Overall, I think some of us are a little bit closed-minded, and as I said at the start, I am guilty of that at times. This isn't an assault at certain people, because I am one of those at times. And I feel that we just need to be a little bit more open in this game. Konami do have the game's best interests at heart, because if they didn't, the game wouldn't be going on now, and it is a business for them still. So it's in the interest of good business for them to keep people happy and to keep the game functioning at a fair rate. So that is basically my video. If you do want to come over to my channel, I would really appreciate it. I do a lot of deck profiles, discussions, sometimes skits and such. So make sure to check out my link. It'll be down in the description below, as I'm sure Paul will pop it there. Make sure to come over to see your famous Paul on my channel to see his discussion video, which is on the tier list. And as always, make sure you give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.